Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. I am happy to see all of you on this first day of June 2023, and Kiki is also stopping by in her nice, bright, colorful, sparkly outfit for June. I know that the first of the month is the episode that everybody eagerly awaits because they want to see the slideshow and they're anxiously waiting to see what the next color and the next flower is going to be. So I'm happy to see you all, and I'm going to get right into it. Any talking I'm going to do, I will do after we have a bug. I don't know. Sorry about that. I know you are wanting to see the slideshow, so I will get started on it right away. But I just want to say one small kind of warning to people. When you finish your object, I'm going to suggest that you email me your picture right away, because I am very aware that somebody has finished a project and I did not get the picture in time. I know they finished it last week because I saw them show it on their own channel, and I didn't get it in time to put in the slideshow. So I'm going to caution you that when you finish making your item, get an email out right away so that you don't forget and you don't miss the deadline. So we're going to get started. I'm going to move over a bit. No, I'm supposed to stay in the middle and it moves me over. Once again, we had 20 entries and that really excites me. So we're going to start this time with Carrie. Carrie is in Ontario, and Carrie loves to do amigurumis, and you can tell by this picture she has done a number of bunnies, but she said the one in front, the white with the green trim on it, was specially for me. Next, we have Cindy from Costa Rica, and Cindy has made a baby blanket this month. And this is the Which Way Filet, but if you look at it closely, you'll see this is in the rectangle, not in the square shape. Next, we have a picture from Deb M. Both my Debs are in Arizona. And she has done the glacier scarf. I showed you that one just a few weeks ago. It uses a sock set for the scarf, and it is a pattern by Karen Hooley. Next, I had a submission from Tammy, who is new to our little group. And Tammy has done the cutest little baby booty set and a sweater in the appropriate color, a nice neutral color for a baby. And then we have Josephine. I forget where Josephine told me she was from. But as you know, Josephine is doing squares every month that she will eventually put together. And we see the first one has a flower in it that I believe, if I've got these straight, it is from Play Hooky With Me tutorial, and it uses the Ultimate Square Source book. I think that's what she said. And then we have a square with baubles, and that comes from 100 Crochet Tiles. And finally, I thought this was so cute. We have a square with actual lilies of the valley on the square. She used a pattern from Jovelin Crochet, I believe, and then attached it onto the square. Next, We have a blanket from Rose. Rose is local to me, in white, green, and brown. And again, this blanket will go in the donation pile. It's hard to see the green in it, just the way it is sitting, but there definitely is green in it. Next, from Anvita, who is in India, she has knit the Ventura wrap. I try to save their knit if I know. And this Ventura wrap was made with Lion Brand homespun. Next, we have a submission from Barbara B. And Barbara is in Missouri. And she's made this corner-to-corner pillow with, in it, a lily of the valley. And she said she used a cross-stitch chart to be able to chart out those lilies of the valleys. And as you know, cross-stitch is close to my heart. We have another new person who has submitted a picture, and that's Susan from New Jersey. And she has sent the Quiet Star cowl, and it is from Quiet Star Crafts, which is a YouTube channel. So I'm thinking they have done a tutorial. Then we have Sigal, who is from Jerusalem, and she has taken a pattern from Mikey of the crochet crowd, and it's a hat that she has adapted to a messy bun hat, and it looks quite summery. And the crochet crowd, you could probably find that pattern on YouTube. Then we have our second Debbie from Arizona, Debbie P. And she has also made a baby blanket. Baby blankets were kind of popular this month. A lot of people having babies at this point. Next, from Barb M in Saskatchewan. And I can't read my notes very well. It's the Huntley Graft Bay by Rebecca Langford. Oh, sorry. It's a bag. It's a Huntley Graft bag. And she got the pattern from Rebecca Langford. And I thought this was so neat that just by luck, when she received an order from one of the Etsy sellers, the Etsy seller happened to toss in a pin. Look at that, the pin she put on the purse. Perfect lily of the valleys that fit into our theme. Then we have a submission from Rebecca, who is new. And she has done a simple summer cardigan, which is a pattern from Pamela's Adoring Crochet. And she has a YouTube channel if you're interested in that pattern. Then we have Renee, who is from Alabama, I believe, if my memory serves me right. And she has knit a dishcloth and crocheted a dishcloth and pot holder that all go together. Make a great set. And then from Lenan in Florida, who has the YouTube channel Nina's Knots Crochet, she has done the Rusty Road 2, I guess you call it a cardigan or cover-up, and it is from MJ's Off the Hook, which also is a YouTube channel. And I did look it up, so I know there is a tutorial on her channel to follow. Next, we have a submission from Donna, who is new to us. And this is called the Mond Beer, I hope I'm saying that right, Mond Beer Shawl. And it's by Ute, U-T-E, Ute Seller. and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And then from Lillian, who is again in Ontario, we have the dragon fin shawl. And again, this is a free pattern on Ravelry. Then we have Adam, who is in the UK. He didn't seem very happy with his submission, but I'm showing it anyway. He has knit a pillow cover. It is curling at the edges. I think he has not yet seamed it together because he mentioned having a problem seaming things. So I think he still has to do that. Then from Bonnie, who is local to me, she has first sent a picture of a shawl called The Wave, and the pattern is by Desert Blossom. And then she did a Ruana using Traboo, and this is her own design, and it's made with V stitches. Once again, Bonnie's doing her own design. And then finally, from Edie, we have a pair of fingerless gloves. Quite a nice lacy looking pattern. So that's 20 people. I know there was at least one other person whose design didn't get to me, sorry to say. And notice quite a few people who submitted something were new. I think just new this month. I think there were 3 or 4 of them. So if the other people who didn't get something submitted this month add in, we'll be up to about 2 dozen. So that's a great slideshow again of work from my followers. I love getting your work, and I look forward to checking my email almost every day of the month to see if something new has been submitted. So now we come to the point where I've put all of your names on the wheel. Give me a second to open up the wheel here. Here is the wheel. And they are all on there. And we will wait for it to spin and stop. And Edie is our winner. It always seems that the wheel knows who some of the newer people are. I've been new people most of the time. So Edie, what I need from you is for you to email me with your complete mailing address, and I will get one of those gradient cakes out to you hopefully by the end of the week. But I always go to the post office on Tuesdays, so probably it'll be next Tuesday. But the sooner you get me your mailing information, the sooner I can get it in the mail to you. So congratulations, Edie. Next, what's next? I know you're all waiting anxiously for this. Open it up. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is what is June? Well, before I show you the picture, I want you to think about this. The flower for June is a rose. So what do you think when you picture a rose? I just want to give you a minute to picture rose or roses. Because, I like to do things different. So I have a very different picture for you. And here it is. So that gives you enough time to get a good screenshot of the picture. Isn't that a little different from what you were thinking about when I said rose? Now, while I'm talking, I want to get the picture up here as well, because I want to show you the yarn that I have selected. Now, you shouldn't have any trouble finding yarn to go with that. And by the way, I do want to reassure you, I guess would be the best word. You do not have to find yarn that has every single color in that picture. Whatever color reaches out to you, speaks to you from the picture is fine. One color, two colors, maybe variegated that has 2 or 3 of those colors. There are a few colors that aren't in the picture. There's no out and out red. There's no brown really, and there's no bright orange, but there's almost every other color in the rainbow. That was partly why I selected the picture. But like I said, you can pick 1, 2, 5, however many colors you want, but don't feel that you must hit every color in that picture. That might be a very difficult thing to do. But I had some yarn in my stash that reached out to me when I was looking for something for that picture. So I'm going to flash the picture up there and this. And I know it's not exact. The yellow is a little yellowier. It's more golden in that picture. And the pink is brighter. It's a little softer. But it has the purples and the blues and some greens. And when I look at this, it just somehow made me think of that. Now, this is, I've got more. I've got 3 balls of this, and I'm sure you all recognize it as Red Heart Unforgettable in the colorway Gossamer. And Red Heart Unforgettable is, I can never find what I'm looking for. It has 270 yards in a skein, or 246 meters. And it is made in Turkey. And it's probably, oh, there it is, 100% acrylic. 100% acrylic. 270 yards times 3 gives me 840 yards total, which is a great amount to make a shawl. And I'm definitely going to make a shawl. The question is, what shawl? I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but it's a great item to make, to put in my donation box. So I definitely want to make a shawl, and you know, unforgettable feels so nice. So that's my plan for June. Now, I also want to remind you that I have already posted the May, I meant to bring in the May that I made, but I'll put a picture up here once again. The item I made for May was a shawl by Karen Hooley, and I showed it to you last week. I have posted it in the Ravelry group, along with the yarn I used. It's, you know, I'm hoping some of you will post your items in the Ravelry group, and I have also posted it on Instagram under the hashtag JudyScal2023. What else can I tell you? That's pretty much it. I probably will post in a week or two the yarn. I'll start a project page and put the flower inspiration and the yarn in Ravelry. I always do get a project page started fairly quickly, but I gotta know what I'm going to make first. So I'll have to think about that for the next couple of days and pick a shawl that would look good in those colors. I don't want anything too complicated, because besides doing that this month, I am involved in a test for a cowl, and I'm going to be making 2 versions of that, since I'm using my stash, but I'm also using the yarn she suggested, but it hasn't arrived. It was a special dye job, and once it was dyed, they're sending it. So it's on the way now, so hopefully I will get it soon. I have been I spent 5 hours out working in the garden yesterday. I am very far behind. The weather hasn't cooperated very well this year. And by this point, the 1st of June, I should be all done and relaxing, except for possibly trimming the lilac bushes. And I forgot to mention last week why I showed you pictures of the lilac bushes. They're very special to me. Several of you said, oh, they make me homesick for home. They remind me of home. And I didn't mention that that's why I have lilacs. In the house where I grew up, we actually had 2 lilac bushes, one in the backyard and then one back behind the garage. And they were darker purple. At least the one in the backyard I recall as being a darker purple than mine. And every year my mom would cut, it was a tree, not a bush. It was a full up tree. And my mom would cut blossoms out of it, put them in a vase, and then set that vase on top of the piano. I played the piano as a kid, and every day you're supposed to sit and practice. And I'd be sitting at the piano practicing while all my friends were, I could watch them outside the window. I was right by the window watching them out doing their thing, having a good time. And I'm sitting playing the piano. But the vase of lilacs always sat there on the corner of the piano, and I could smell them. And whenever I smell lilacs, it reminds me of being home. And my lilacs have such a strong odor that I was sitting in the house this week, and the odor wafted around, and inside it was just heavenly. And I know that lilacs have special meaning to a lot of you. But anyway, I'm still working very hard in the garden, and it is my hope. Now it's turned super hot, so it's uncomfortable to be out, but it's my hope that I can do a little something each, maybe in the mornings in the yard, to get the work done. I got a little weeding to do. I got planting of all of those hostas I showed you that I bought last week. And then about the time I finish that, the lilacs will have stopped, and I'll have to trim bushes, and that takes another day. But if I'm lucky, I might have it all done by the end of the week or early next week. And it is my plan to kind of show you. I took a few pictures at the beginning, and it's my plan to show you the gardens when I'm done, because I do have a very large and special collection of hostas that I think some of you would be interested in seeing. Some of you have seen it before, but it changes every year. So if we're lucky, next week I'll be showing you my gardens. The other thing that happened this week, and it might be 2 weeks before I show you, but I don't know if I ever mentioned that, I order a lot from Expression Fiber Arts. And for you lucky folks that live in the US, if you order 2 skeins of yarn from them, you've got a large enough order that shipping is free. We do not get any free shipping here in Canada. Minimum is $24 to ship 1 skein or 6 skeins. And then it goes up from there. But I have a brother that lives basically in Florida for 6 months of the year. And him and his wife are very kind to let me have my shipments sent to them while they are in Florida. Now, I don't have everything shipped to them. It would fill their car, I think. Maybe not quite, but you know, there's only so much you can ask of someone. But I do have my EFA yarn shipped to them, at least for the first 3 months or so. And it is quite a bit. And just this past weekend, my sister-in-law was going by on the way to her hometown, and she stopped and dropped off my winter order of EFA yarns. And it's not a small order. And I don't generally show you EFA yarn when it comes. I talk about it enough. But somebody said, because for me, when I got that, it was like Christmas in June. Actually, it was the end of May, but somebody said, well, why don't you show that order? It'd be like Christmas in July. I won't wait till July. But I thought, well, maybe it is something you would enjoy to see me open this super large order of EFA yarns. It's got quite a few different bases in it and some really beautiful yarn that I don't typically show you. So either next week or the week after. 1 week I'll do my yarn and 1 week I'll do my yard. Whichever one works out for next week. So I thought you might enjoy to see that. All right, moving on. I told you that this week I would have yarn for sale. I went and I did a big destashing. I pulled out 1 complete container full of cakes of yarn. So some of you are probably here anxiously waiting, because this yarn is all hand-dyed fingering yarn. Hand-dyed fingering. It is all caked as well. And I would say it is all either 100% merino or a merino nylon mix. I would suggest that the biggest part of it is a merino nylon mix. So what I have done is I have taken pictures. It's not all of it, but I took pictures in groups of 6, and you'll see a picture with 6 cakes and the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on beside each cake. I don't have any individual information about them all. It would be too much. I have 7 pictures. That means 42. Actually, yeah, there are 42 cakes. The numbers go to 43. I'll explain later. So I have a picture, and I'll show you 1 picture at a time. I'll leave the picture on the screen for, you know, a little bit so you can take a good look at it. And then you make note of the numbers that you like. Now, before you contact me, check the description box below. The description box below, as I sell a cake of yarn, I will put sold and the number. So you can double check as soon as I say sold. I'll put it as soon as the person says they want it, so I don't have more people waiting. But you might want to check back later, because if the money doesn't come through, then it'll still be available. But I think I'm going to say it's sold as soon as somebody says, I want that for sure. Okay? So that's the first step. We'll look at all the colors. You pick out the numbers you're interested in, and then let me know. Now, what you need to do is email me, and that's judyscreations21@gmail.com. Email is in the description box below. Email me, tell me the numbers you want, and give me your mailing address, because I will have to go up and calculate. We'll have to find a box to fit it in, and then I will calculate the shipping. And I'll get back to you with that information, the total cost of the yarn plus the shipping. Oftentimes, especially in the US, Canada, this isn't a problem. I have a business account, and it automatically does it priority mail, not priority, expedited mail, which gets it there very quickly, and it automatically insures it up to $100 at a regular, like a rate equal to sending it normal for anybody else. In the US, I'll have two rates for you. I can send it small packet, or I can send it tracked, and then you can track it to you, and it's insured. I think it's insured up to $100 as well. And it's usually a few dollars more. It's not usually a lot more, but some of you like the security of it being tracked. Others are not worried, and they want the cheaper price. And that's fine. I don't care which way you want to do it. Now, the other thing I want to explain that I don't know that everybody understands. For those in Canada, I'm just going to do an e-transfer, and I will tell you how to e-transfer it to me when I'm having the conversation with you. For those in the US, most of you seem to know this, but I encountered somebody that did not understand this. You have to do a friends and family transfer through PayPal. But PayPal is set up that you can put in, and I'm going to tell you the Canadian amount. Remember, I'm selling this from Canada in Canada currency. So you would input the amount. Say you bought one skein of yarn, which they're all $20. Every skein is $20. So say you bought one skein at 20 and the shipping was 20, although you might get a little less, 15. And so you had to give me $35. You would go into PayPal and select friends and family transfer, and then you put in the amount, $35 if that's what it is, and you put Canadian. You put in Canadian currency for the amount. It will automatically revert it back to US, and that's how much you'll be charged, is the US equivalency to what you're paying me in Canadian funds. And there's a service charge as well. You are not putting in 35 US, because then I end up getting, I don't know, 40, almost $50 Canadian, which is not what I want. I just want what I told you. I'm trying to give you all a really good discount on this yarn, because I appreciate that you are buying this yarn so I can destash and make room for more. So that's how it works. But if you're not sure, we can discuss it in the email. So I'm going to start showing you pictures. Going to start right now. First picture, fill the screen, numbers 1 to 6. Give you time to get a good look at it. Okay, that's the first 6. Next, I'm going to show you numbers 1 to 12. Make note of any colors that appeal to you. Now, one thing I want to tell you, in the first 12, number 11, this is the only one that is a sparkle. The only one of everything I'm showing you that is sparkle, okay? Next, we're going to look at 12 to 18. Okay, before I move on, I want to point out that I think you can see in some of the balls, the tags are poking out the center. Some are buried. But I did come across 4 balls, and 2 of them are number 13 and number 15. I'm sorry, there are nothing in the center. There are no tags with 13 and 15. I don't know if that makes a difference to you. Some people really want to know, but I'm quite sure these are all merino and nylon and about 400 yards. But these two do not have tags. Okay, that was 12 to 18. Next, we're going to look at 19 to 25. Yes, I do realize 21 is missing. I misplaced it and I found it too late. So there is no 21. There is 19 to 25. Okay, the next group is 26 to, let me look at my pictures here. I'll show the picture while I'm checking it out. 26 to 31. Again, have a good look at the colors. And now I want to show you 27, once again, does not have a tag in it. You can see tags sticking up in some of them. No tag in this one, sorry. Next picture. Here are cakes 32 to 37. And once again, I have one cake. Oops, sorry, not this group. Wait for the next one. Next group of cakes is 38 to 43. And this is the last group of 6, 38 to 43. And once again, I have one cake, number 38, that does not have a tag. I'm just trying to be as upfront about what you're getting as I possibly can. So there are four cakes with no labels, and there is one cake. See, all the others have a label, and this one is sparkle, if that's your thing. So that's actually 42 cakes of yarn. It's not everything, but I thought that was enough for this time. And I don't know whether to, maybe once a month or maybe in 6 weeks, I'll do the same thing again. I have a few more that are caked, and a few, this time they were all fingering, but I also have some that are worsted weight. So the next time it'll be mixed, some worsted and some fingering. Whatever doesn't sell this time, I'll put in the next time. And I think what I'll do is I'll wait about 6 weeks, and that'll give me time to do a little more destashing, and I'll find some more, and they may be in hanks instead of cakes, but that group was in cakes. I had also a few that there were 2 matching or 3 matching. Again, it was all odds and ends. I thought I'll put them together in another sale. So that's what I have to destash for this week. So that covers everything. I have no FOs to show this week. I had no intention of showing any FOs because I had so much else to take care of. And no yarn to show because I showed you all that yarn that I'm destashing. One other comment I did want to make, and that is that I repeated the list of companies that are selling advent calendars. And the reason I repeated it is I realized I left out one UK company. I think I left out a Canadian company, but I know that I left a couple out. So I added them in and I've put it down below one more time. You may want to look at it and you may want to, I don't know how you copy out of my description box below a video, but you may want to find a way to copy it or write down some names if you are in the market for an advent calendar. And I think I've had at least 3 people now tell me that they either have bought one or they're going to buy one, and there may be 1 or 2 other people that are considering it as well. So I'm going to ask you, if you buy an advent calendar, when you're all done opening it in December, maybe you would take a picture of them, maybe something like this, all laid out somehow, so we can see your advent calendar. I think that covers it all. I am actually kind of tired from 5 hours in the garden yesterday and getting this video ready, and now I have to edit it and get all those pictures into the video. So I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're having good weather where you are now. Finally, we can say that we're having some spring summer weather, which is really nice for a change. And who knows what we'll be doing next week. Depends on how much work I get done in the next week. So until then, happy hooking.